Now, Lagos Fashion Week returned this year, shining a global spotlight on the creativity, resilience, and innovation at the heart of Africa's fashion industry. Now, as designers, models, and fashion enthusiasts gather to celebrate this vibrant scene, well, let's talk about one of the partners stepping forward to amplify this impact, Prosper Africa. Now, this is a U.S. government initiative that is supporting Lagos Fashion Week and focusing on empowering African brands to successfully break into the U.S. market. Of course, we talk about the importance of, our African brands getting into international markets, be it Europe, be it, in America. And now through workshops and resources, this company is helping designers and brands navigate essential elements like building retail partnerships, showcasing at key trade shows, like we've seen at Lagos Fashion Week, mastering international trade protocols. Of course, the list is endless, but shedding more light on this is Prosper Africa's Managing Director for Trade, Jean-Pierre, and the Chief Community Officer at Essence Ventures, Barkue, Zawolo. It's lovely to have you beautiful ladies join me on Arise 360. So let's just get right into the meat of this. As a partner now, for Lagos Fashion Week, how would you say Prosper Africa's support will align with promoting the values, visibility, and growth of African fashion brands internationally?
Thanks, that's a great question. So we are excited to partner with Lagos Fashion Week to launch what we hope will be a long-term relationship that opens market access to African designers. We know that the African creative industry is a $4.2 billion a year industry and is set for tremendous growth in the future. African designers, the creative sector from the continent, is really what is driving this. They're a force to be reckoned with, and we are excited to partner with Lagos Fashion Week to ensure that the American consumer can consume fashion, music, sports, entertainment, everything that African creatives have to offer.
I couldn't agree with you more. Now, going into a bit more detail, could you elaborate on some of those strategies that you would also recommend, for the African designers now who are then seeking to really get into the retail space in the US, and connect with the buyers? Because I don't think the retail space and buyers are the same in every location. What you find in Europe, the demands would not be the same as what you would find in the US. There are several factors that contribute to this, the weather being one of them and the style being another. So what would you say, to those African designers who are seeking, growth in your location?
Certainly. So what we do is we connect buyers and suppliers. We bring US buyers to Lagos Fashion Week. We bring them to the African continent to meet with African designers to understand how they produce, to understand that buying from the continent is not a risky proposition. And so when we accompany US buyers as the US government, Prosper Africa, that allows US buyers to understand that there is a real market for this, and that we are supporting these African designers to enter the US market. So Prosper Africa takes a very hands-on approach in partnering with strategic partners like Lagos Fashion Week to do that.
Amazing. Now, Tabana, I'd like to bring you into the conversation here because, of course, you've experienced the runway shows at Lagos Fashion Week. So I want to get your impressions of the styles and the quality, and whether or not you agree and see a potential for these designs in, ready-to-wear US spaces and retail spaces as well. Is there a potential for these outfits to thrive in these spaces based on the quality and design that you've seen?
I have been obsessed with what has been coming out of Africa for over 15 plus years. I recently moved back to the US, but part of what my goal is exactly what's happening now, is to really start to introduce the quality and the talent that exists within Africa in terms of fashion in the creative industry. I love the runway shows. I'm always inspired. What I love is how the designers today are being very intentional about not only using Ankara, but basically they could show up on any fashion runway any fashion runway and be received and be able to put right next to any luxury designer, and I think they could hold their own weight. That's exactly what's coming out of Africa. That's what has been coming out. I think the beauty of it is like people have improved skills, and also now really understand that being an African designer doesn't mean you only do Ankara. It means you show your talent. And so we get to see a lot of the amazing talent that is already coming out of Africa, and it's showing up on the runway at Lagos Fashion Week.
Now, speaking about, the growth of the fashion and our music industry as well. I mean, I'm sure you know this. Music, African music, Afrobeat making waves in the US. You go to several cities and you hear it multiple times a day on the radio. Now, I would say the difference between music and fashion is the distribution, where you have a clear-cut structure and pathways for the distribution of our music. We often don't find the same with the fashion, with regards to reaching out to those designers who may not even have access to these runways, and also for the designers who do, creating a link that directly channels them to international buyers and, which will be necessary for their brands outside the fashion shows. So how do you see yourself positioning in a way that this becomes an easier process? That structure, that the gap in that structure is filled by what you're bringing to the table.
Well, listen, proudly, I represent Essence Magazine and Essence Festival. We have the largest festival in the United States by per day attendance. We have over 500,000 people coming through that convention center. We have the Soko Marketplace that does exactly that. It provides an opportunity for entrepreneurs to get their products in the hand of the consumers in ways that may not be as structured or as difficult and challenging as other methods, whereas basically you need to just connect with the Essence community, and it really creates an opportunity through our magazine, through our stages, on our .com, for us to talk about the stories and the creators that are actually making these beautiful pieces. So what we do at Essence is provide an outlet that connects the creators to the consumer. And that's what we do 365 days a week.
1,000%. I mean, I can say that I've definitely seen some of your work. and I'm impressed with it. But ladies, this has been a great conversation. Danelle, Barkue, thank you both so much for joining me on Arise 360, and I hope you enjoy what's left of Fashion Week. And that is Arise 360 today. That brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching. Catch us every weekday at 5 p.m. for your deep dive into the world, the exciting world of entertainment, arts, and culture. Goodbye.